they didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. Google executive fired after female boss groped him at drunken bash, suit said. This is one of those situations where if this was reversed, even the accusation against a male boss would have gotten him immediately fired. They wouldn't have even waited for the lawsuit. They wouldn't have even waited for the investigation. But a woman does it to a man? Let's just fire him. He probably doesn't have enough money to sue us. So a Google executive claims he was booted by the tech giant for rejecting a high-ranking female colleague's grabby advances at a posh company dinner. Yeah, they really don't like it when you check them on the same stuff they complain about. So Ryan Olahan, 48, accuses Google of firing him after one of its top executives, Tiffany Miller, groped him at a Chelsea restaurant in December of current year -4 and told him she knew he liked Asian women, which Miller is, according to a Blockbuster November federal lawsuit filed in Manhattan. That doesn't mean he likes all Asian women. That's one of the things they never seem to understand. Like, no, I like the ones that don't look like the like 1 foot tall granny from every anime ever. No, Miller, director of Google's programmatic media, rubbed Olahan's abs and complimented his physique and told him her marriage lacked spice, according to court papers. Oh God, that's even worse. If he could prove this, oh man, he should have just taken that right to her husband too. Man, just bust them cheating hoes. Now, the alleged hands-on encounter unfolded during a drunken company gathering at Fig and Olive on West 13th Street. Shortly after, Olahan was promoted to a managing director of food, beverages, and restaurants and joining a new management team that included Miller and Google's Manhattan offices, according to the lawsuit. And then immediately got groped, and his hopes and dreams came crashing down. While Olahan, a married father of 7, said he was initially uncomfortable bringing up the incident because many of his colleagues were drunk. His coworkers later chalked up the behavior to Tiffany being Tiffany, court papers say. Oh, this is another one. Remember how offended they are when you use the phrase like boys will be boys or something like that? Olahan said he reported the issue to Google's HR department the following week, but nothing ever came of the complaint. Yeah, guess what? HR is never going to do anything unless your complaint is going to threaten the company in some way. Now, if you pretty much said, hey, you do something or I'm going to take this to the media and sue, something would have been done, probably against you, but they would have done something, right? You got to remember, HR exists to protect the company. It doesn't exist for you. It exists to manage your human resource ass, because that's all you are to the company. You are a human resource. They only exist to cover the company's ass. They would have done something if you told them ahead of time you're planning a lawsuit or something. Again, they probably wouldn't have been in your favor anyway. But like that's what it takes to get HR to act. Like their number one priority is, how do we avoid lawsuits? How do we avoid bad PR? If they think that the easiest solution to the problem would be to just get rid of you, that's what they're going to do. So the HR rep openly admitted the complaint was in reverse, a female accusing a white male of harassment. The complaint would certainly be escalated according to the lawsuit. I sure hope he recorded this. Now, Olahan claims Miller began retaliating against him after he made the complaint by criticizing him and reporting him to HR for microaggressions, though the complaint does not specify what Miller accused him of. Well, if this is true and he's not just making it up, that should come up when they subpoena the company. Like when they're in discovery, we should have access to those complaints, right? And this, I hope that whatever the truth is, I hope there's receipts. Put them out there. The retaliation allegedly continued at Google hosted events in December of current year -2, where Miller drunkenly admonished Olahan in front of his colleagues. The rancor was so bad that colleagues encouraged Miller to move to the other end of the table, according to the lawsuit. Miller later apologized, and although Google was aware that Miller's continued harassment of Olahan stemmed from his rejection for sexual advances, it took no action, the suit claims. Yeah, how many years was it? Like, 2019 is when it started, I think. Yeah, for 2 years, he knew he was being targeted. So hopefully he spoke with his lawyer and was already, recording things in whatever legal ways are available. Miller drunkenly berated Olahan yet again at a company get-together karaoke bar in April of current year -1, where she mocked him upon arrival and reiterated that she knew he preferred Asian women over white women, knowing that Olahan's wife is Asian, according to court papers. Oh, so she's just jealous that the guy's wife was hotter than her. The Olahan said he began feeling increasing pressure from his supervisor, who told him that there were obviously too many white guys on his management team. In July, he was encouraged to fire a male employee to make room on his team for a Whammons, the suit claims. And he didn't, so he was fired instead. Yeah, this is another case, too. You could, not only does he have a sexual harassment and retaliation case against this one executive, if this is true, he's got a racism claim against Google, or a sexism claim and racism against Google itself. So the following month, Google fired Olahan, ending his employment after 16 years at the company. During a video conference call, Olahan said he was told by a Google employee investigations team that he was being fired because he was not inclusive. Yeah, he wasn't inclusive of his manager's advances. When he asked why he was non-inclusive, Olahan was told he had shown favoritism towards high-performing employees and that he was ableist for commenting on other employees' walking pace. Yeah, if this is what they get you with, they're looking for a reason to get rid of you. And yeah, favoritism towards high-performing employees, so he was for meritocracy. And then they just called him ableist because he probably told someone that they were walking too slow once. Yeah, they're looking for nitpicks. Like this is how you know that this, if this is true, again, we don't know if this is true yet, but if this is true, if this is all they could come up with to hit this guy with, he must have been a model employee. If you have to dig this far up your ass to find something. Olahan's lawsuit, which seeks unspecified damages, names both Google and Miller as defendants and accuses them of discrimination, retaliation, and fostering a hostile work environment. Which, if this is true, sounds like that's exactly what happened. In a statement to the Post, a spokesman for Miller denied the accusations against his client. This lawsuit is a fictional account of events filled with numerous falsehoods fabricated by a disgruntled ex-employee who was senior to Miss Miller at Google, said the spokesman said. Who was senior? Oh, must have just been tenure. Miss Miller never made any advance towards Mr. Olahan, which witnesses can readily corroborate. This would be the time where you reveal the tapes, you know? Like, and man, you can't do this in court, mind you. Like, so in court, you have to present your evidence ahead of time. So both people, or both sides, you know, they could prepare their arguments. They know exactly what the other side has. There's no surprises. But if you're not in court yet, yeah, this is actually one of the best things to do. Is, you know, you have the evidence, but you don't open up with the evidence. You simply reveal the truth. You just reveal what happened. And once they start denying it, then you reveal your evidence. Because now not only do you have proof that they did the thing, but you also got an extra 30 points for catching them lying. And you're pretty much, you're starting off on a much better footing, because now everyone who watched you catch them in a lie, now they're less likely to trust anything that other person says too. They're like, well, if it's he said, she said, I'm going to trust the person that's not a known liar. So how funny would it be if they did that? Because like now that the lawyer is denied that, oh, this is false, none of this ever happened, that's when you drop the evidence. Oh, really? That's not what these 7 videotapes say.